Okay, so good morning to all of you. So we are basically learning the natural convection part. Okay. In the last session, we have discussed the introductory part of this natural convection. Okay. That is in natural convection, heat transfer takes place due to density difference and in the absence of any external force means it is noiseless. Okay, because it is not having any mating parts. And we learn the different examples like in quenching process, whereas any hot or the cold substance when you kept in still air, it is basically approaching to the thermal equilibrium with air. Okay, and as far as the weather is concerned, in weather study, we know that in daytime the sea breeze coming towards the land as a result of natural convection, whereas in night time the wind is basically blowing from the land to sea because of the natural convection. So this arrow, okay, basically showing the natural convection current gets set in the weather. Okay, so I hope that you basically understood the natural convection process, isn't it? Yes. Al- Okay.
Yes.
Now, now there are two forces that are basically acting on the fluid molecule. That is gravitational force and the buoyancy force. Okay. So gravitational force, as you know, that it is the weight of that particular uh, fluid molecule. So obviously it is in the downward direction, whereas the buoyancy force that is basically acting in the upward direction. Okay. Now what will happen if there is the perfect balance of this, that is buoyancy force is equal to the gravitational force, so the fluid molecule will remain in that position only. It will not move in up or it will not move in the downside. Okay. So the moment of the fluid molecule is basically due to the unbalance of these two forces. Okay. So if the weight of the fluid molecule is larger than the buoyancy force, obviously the fluid molecule is start moving in the downward direction. And I already told using the one of the example that if you considered one hot plate, okay, like in the next example, okay, like that, this is a hot plate, hot horizontal plate. So the fluid molecule that is available means it is air molecule which is available in the surrounding air. When this air molecule is coming in contact with this plate, basically it is absorbing the heat, and when it is absorbing the heat, its specific volume get increases, and its when its specific volume get increases, its density is basically get decreases because specific volume is inversely proportional to the density. So when density is basically decreases, so fluid molecule starts moving in the upward direction. Understood? When it starts moving in the upward direction at a certain position or at a certain particular height, when that fluid molecule is basically exchanging heat to the surrounding fluid molecule, and its energy level has been dropped down, and because of that its specific volume get decreases and density get increases. So that fluid molecule get starts moving in the downward direction. Okay, so this is a continuous process happening in the environment. So whatever the moment of this fluid molecule that is shown by this arrow in case of the hot horizontal plate or the cold horizontal plate that shown here, that is basically the natural convection current gets set in the fluid. And these natural convection currents are basically because of it gets set because of the temperature difference between the surface and the fluid. Have you understood this process? Yes. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Have you understood this process, natural convection process? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Any doubt?
No, sir.
No. Okay. So similarly, in the cold horizontal plate, the temperature of the plate is uh, lesser than the temperature of the fluid. Okay. So particularly in the refrigeration and air conditioning systems, where the temperature of that plate or the tube, which is uh, less than the temperature of the surrounding fluid molecules. So when the surrounding fluid molecules, that is air molecules that are coming in contact with this cold plate, okay, basically it is that fluid molecule is losing its heat because of temperature difference. So the temperature of the plate is less than the temperature of the fluid molecule. So the plate is basically absorbing heat from the fluid molecule, and fluid molecule is losing heat here. When it losing its specific volume is basically decreases and density is increases, and as density increases, the fluid molecule starts moving in the downward direction. Understood? So this in this way, the natural convection current gets set in case of the hot horizontal plate and the hot uh, cold horizontal plate. Okay. Similarly, the natural convection currents in the vertical cold plate and the vertical hot plate. Okay. Similar phenomena uh, that I am explaining here. So the fluid molecule, when it is coming in contact with this vertical plate, so its specific volume is increases, density is decreases, it starts moving in the upward direction. Okay. Whereas exactly reverse thing is happening in case of the vertical cold plate as far as the natural convection currents are concerned. Okay. Have you understood how this natural convection process takes place in hot and the cold plate when it is placed in horizontal orientation as well as in the vertical orientation? Got it? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Huh. Now, this particular moment of the fluid molecule, here there is no blower, here there is no fan, here there is no compressor. The all these moments is basically because of the density difference. There is no question of here the external force. Okay, so everything is happening naturally. Everything is happening naturally, and this is because of temperature difference between the surface and the surrounding fluid. That is delta T. Delta T is basically responsible for this natural convection process. Understood? I hope that you understood this. This is very basically easy
Yes.
for understanding. Okay. Uh, Now coming to the our main thing that I already told, in case of the convection or in overall heat transfer, basically we are interested to determine the rate of heat transfer either by conduction, by convection or radiation, or the combination of these three. Okay. So second thing that we are interested, that is the time required either for heating or time required either for cooling. Okay. So if you want to determine the rate of heat transfer in natural convection, we should have a certain equation. Okay. We should have a certain equation, that is general equation that is already given by the Newton's law of cooling, that is Q is equal to HA delta T. Q is equal to HA delta T, where H is the convective heat transfer coefficient, A is the area exposed to surrounding fluid, and delta T, which is a temperature difference between surface and the fluid, if surface is hotter than fluid, or TF minus TS if fluid is hotter than the surface. Understood? Now, in this particular equation, the geometrical parameters, that is the area, is generally known. Delta T, that we can measure with the help of a thermometer or the thermocouple. Okay, but it is really difficult to determine the heat transfer coefficient. It is really difficult to determine the heat transfer coefficient experimentally. Okay, so in order to overcome this issue, people have basically developed the different correlations based on the experimental data. Okay, and this uh, several correlation that we have already studied in the forced convection. Understood? Now here what I am trying to say that we should have certain equation, okay, for the determination of H, okay, and that equation should be in terms of the non-dimensional numbers, okay. So that equation we are going to develop in this session, okay. That is a governing equation of natural convection. So we are going to use the method that is known as the algebraic relay method. We are going to use the algebraic relay method, okay. Now in natural convection, H is basically depends on, or it is a function of G. G is a gravitational constant. See, we have seen the two forces that is acting on the fluid molecule here. One is the buoyancy force and another is the gravitational force. Okay. So G beta delta T. G beta delta T is basically your buoyancy force. Okay. L is a characteristics length. So G is basically the gravitational constant. Beta is known as a coefficient of volumetric expansion. Beta is known as coefficient of volumetric expansion. Okay, because just I told that when the fluid molecule is receiving heat, its specific volume get increases. Okay, so when its specific volume get increases, so here it is very important to know the how much is the volumetric coefficient of volumetric expansion. Okay, delta T, it is very simple, which is just the temperature difference between surface and the fluid, or fluid and the surface. Okay, L, L here I have written, that is very important here. That is characteristics dimension. It is known as a characteristics dimension. But in natural convection, it is necessary to carefully judge this this characteristics dimension. Okay, how? Because here the plate may be horizontal, plate may be vertical, there may be the horizontal cylinder, the plate may be
Hello,
inclined.
sir.
Okay, yes, hello, hello,
Hello, sir.
हा,
सर आवाज कट होतोय मध्ये.
कट होतोय. आता येतोय.
हो.
हॅलो.
हां, आता येतोय सर.
Okay.
येस.
So L is basically the characteristics dimension of the that is basically changing here, because the plate may be vertical, plate may be horizontal, plate may be inclined, plate may be that cylinder may be horizontal, may be vertical. So there are a number of cases are there. Okay. So for that purpose, I have prepared one table how to get the characteristics dimension for the different situation. Okay, so that I'll tell you later on. Rho is basically the mass density of the fluid. Mu is the dynamic viscosity of the fluid. Cp and K. Cp is the specific heat and K is the thermal conductivity of that fluid. So rho, mu, Cp and K. These are the thermophysical properties of the fluid. These are the thermophysical properties of the fluid. L is basically the okay. Delta T, it is a temperature parameter, and G beta, G is basically that is a gravitational constant. Okay, that is 9.81. Beta is the coefficient of volumetric expansion. Although this G beta delta T, that is known as a buoyancy force. Have you understood up till now? Any difficulty? Yes? Any difficulty? Hello? Yes?
No, sir, no difficulty.
No, sir.
No difficulty? Okay. So, now, as far as our procedure, because we have to develop the equation, governing equation in terms of the non-dimensional numbers. Okay. So, I have written here capital A, small b, small c, d, e, f. That are basically the constants. That are the constants. Okay. And the fundamental dimensions of above parameters. Okay. That are like this. Okay. So H is having unit watt per meter square Kelvin. So its fundamental dimension is meter, that is T raised to, that is T. T here it stands for time, because yes, in the while developing the equation of force convection, I already told the fundamental dimensions are basically written in terms of m, l, t and theta. M, L, T and theta. M is basically representing the mass, L is basically the length, T is a time, and theta is a, yes, theta is a
Temperature.
temperature. Very good. So H is having a unit watt per meter square Kelvin. Watt is basically the 1 watt is equal to 1 Newton meter per second. That is, watt is joule per second basically, and 1 joule is a 1 Newton per second. And 1 Newton is basically 1 kg multiplied by 1 meter per second square according to Newton's second law, okay, of motion. Understood? So if you substitute all these things, you will get the fundamental dimension of H as a m t raised to minus 3 theta raised to minus 1. Then g beta delta t, its unit is meter per second square. So it is a meter. So unit of meter is L, and it is a second. So it is a t raised to minus 2. Okay. L is in meter. So its fundamental dimension is only L. Rho is in kg per meter cube. Fundamental dimension of kg is m, because it is kg, and m square. So it is a L raised to minus 3. Similarly, I have written the uh, fundamental dimensions for mu, Cp and K. Any difficulty in understanding this table?
No,
Yes,
sir.
because
No,
it
sir.
is already covered in the first year as well as in 11th and the 12th science. So I am not going to uh, tell this in detail. If you have any difficulty, you can ask me. Okay. So fundamental dimensions that I am writing here, I am replacing this H, G, beta, delta T, L, rho, mu, Cp, K. Okay, I am replacing with fundamental dimension. Let me clear one thing, that I have clubbed one term, that is G beta delta T. So G beta delta T is basically the buoyancy force here. Okay, that's why I have clubbed it. Okay, so I have written everything, and now I am equating the powers of m on either sides. Okay, now in left hand side the power of m is 1, and in right hand side, if you check all these things, in first term we don't have any power of m, so it is 0 basically, that I have not written here. Here there is no m, here there is a m, so it is m raised to c, so I have written c here. This is m raised to d, so I have written d here, and this is m raised to f, so I have written f here. And in left hand side we have the m raised to 1, so it is a 1 is equal to c plus d plus f. Got it? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
fine.
sir.
Very good. Now, equating
Yes.
powers of L. Now here there is no L in left hand side, so I have written 0 here. Okay, because there is no power of L. So here it is L raised to A. So A I have written. Here L raised to B. So I have written B here. So this is L raised to minus 1. Okay, multiply by this D. So it is become minus D. Here it is L raised to minus 3. Minus 3 multiplied by C. So it is a minus 3C. So I have written it as a minus 3C. Here there is a L raised to 2E. So it is a 2E. Here L raised to F. So it is a F. Okay. So in this way, I have equated the powers of L on either side. Okay. Similarly, equating powers of time on both sides. Okay. So from this equation, this is a t raised to minus 3. So I have written minus 3 here. Similarly, in the left hand side, we have the t raised to minus 2a. Okay, so I have written minus 2a minus d minus 2e minus 3f. Then equating powers of theta on both sides. Theta raised to minus 1. So it is a minus 1 is equal to minus e minus f. Okay, minus E minus F. Let us obtain the values of different powers in terms of A and E. So from this equation, F is equal to, basically, if you take this F in the left hand side like this, so we have it become plus F, and in right hand side we have the 1 minus E. Got it? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what I am doing, what I am doing here, this particular equation I have written here. Okay, that is minus 3 is equal to dash dash dash. Okay, so in this equation, okay, I am substituting F is equal to 1 minus E. So that I have substituted here, 1 minus E. Got it? Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Then if I do the mathematical exercise here, okay, so this is minus 3 plus 3E, okay, plus 3E, this is minus 2E, so you will get E only, okay, this is minus 2A, this is minus D, okay, that I have written in the left hand side, okay, this is minus 3, okay, and here there is also minus 3, so that will get cancelled out, okay. So one more equation we have, 1 is equal to, from here, one more equation we have, that is 1 is equal to C plus D plus F. C plus D plus F. So I am again replacing F with 1 minus E. If I replace this with this, and D is equal to E minus 2A in this equation, you will get that EE will get cancelled out. Then here minus 2A, this is 1 will get cancelled out, you will get the C is equal to 2A. Okay. Similarly, we have the equation of this, that is in terms of L, that I have written. Same equation I am taking here, okay, and I am just replacing C with 2A, then D with E minus 2A, and F with E minus 1 minus E. So if I do this mathematical exercise, I'll get B is equal to 3A minus 1. Okay. So what I did here, I have basically uh, written these equations, all this, that is C, D, B, in terms of A and E. That's all. Okay. So now here I was having B, so B I have replaced with the 3A minus 1. C I have replaced with the 2A. Then D I have replaced with the E minus 2A. C, which is E. Then K raised to F, basically, that I have replaced with 1 minus E from this equation. Yes, up till now any difficulty? Yes.
No, sir.
Everybody should understood this. This is very important, because we are basically developing the governing equation for natural convection in terms of the non-dimensional numbers. Okay. So now I am clubbing the terms. Okay. That is the terms that are having a power A, that I am writing in one bracket. Terms are having a power E, that I am writing in another bracket, and terms are having no power, that I have written in the third bracket. Okay. Now here this is a G beta delta T, L raised to 3, rho raised to 2, mu raised to 2, and whole bracket raised to A. Similarly, this is a mu Cp by K raised to E, and whatever the powers, that the terms that are not having any powers, that I have written in another bracket, that is K by L. Understood this? Yes?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, fine. Now, this G beta delta T L cube rho square divided by mu square, this is known as one of the important non-dimensional number, that is known as Grashoff's number. That is known as Grashoff's number. G beta delta T L cube rho square divided by mu square. This is known as Grashoff's number. Whereas HL divided by K, it is known as which number?
Nusselt number.
Nusselt
Nusselt
number.
number.
Very good. And mu Cp upon K, that is known as
Prandtl number.
Prandtl
Prandtl
number.
number.
It is known as Prandtl number. So we have basically developed the governing equation of natural convection process in terms of three non-dimensional numbers, that is Nusselt number, then Grashoff's number, and the Prandtl number. Now only the question of the small a and small e. Okay. Now any natural convection correlation or the equation which is developed by the different researchers, okay, they have developed this equation in terms of in this form. They have developed the equation in this form. Only thing what they did here depends on the different situations. They have obtained the different values of a, small a, and e. Understood? Rest of the things will remain same. Okay. Now only thing is, what is use of this equation? Now use of this equation is that if somebody is conducting the natural convection experiment at Nasik and another researcher is doing the experiment at New York or some in another university like Texas University or Purdue University in USA. Okay, their experimental conditions may be same. Okay, only thing is that somebody may have the different plate dimensions as a 2 by 2 by 1. Some may have the 1 by 2 by 1, but plate is vertical or plate is horizontal. Orientation is same. Okay, rest of the experimental conditions are same. Now surrounding temperatures in that New York or some Texas University or Purdue University, that is different, and here in our city the surrounding temperature is different. Okay, so if you want to compare the your result, that is experimental results obtained under the same experimental conditions at, because only we are not basically keeping the environmental conditions same, because that is not in our control. Rest of the dimensions, all these things we have kept same. And if you want to compare this particular result with the results obtained in the different university or the different location, okay, for that purpose it is very, very important to compare the values of this a, small a, and e. Understood? And this is the beauty of this non-dimensional numbers or equation that is written in terms of non-dimensional numbers. Have you understood this? Yes?
Yes.
Hello? Huh. Now you tell me what is difference between this particular equation and the equation which is obtained in the forced convection. Yes, who will tell?
In first equation, we have Reynolds number.
Yeah, we have Reynolds number, rest of the numbers are same. Okay, so only thing is that in forced convection, this GR, that is Grashoff number, is replaced with the Reynolds number. Understood? Yes?
Yes.
One more important thing I am telling you, whatever the L is available here, that L is basically the characteristics length. Its characteristics dimension or the length that we took in the forced convection based on the external flow and the internal flow situation. If we have an external flow situation, so we have considered the length of the plate. Whereas in case of the internal flow, that is fluid is flowing through the pipe, then we have considered the diameter as a. But in natural convection we cannot do this thing. In natural convection we cannot do this thing, so we have to select the appropriate characteristics length while determining these three different numbers. How to do that, I'll take in the next part. Okay. So, meanwhile, we'll discuss the physical significance of Grashoff's number. Okay. So, whatever the non-dimensional numbers we have learned in forced convection as well as in natural convection, its physical significance, it is very much necessary to understand. Okay. And that's why, in view of the importance of these non-dimensional numbers, okay, so the physical significance of non-dimensional numbers that are asked almost every time in the examination. Almost every time in the examination. So from examination point of view, you prepare the physical significance of these non-dimensional numbers. Okay. So GR is equal to G beta delta T L cube rho square divided by mu square. So what I did here, I have written V square at numerator. So I have to write the V square at denominator in order to balance this. So I have written V square at numerator as well as V square at denominator. Okay. So that's why I get the rho V square multiplied by G beta delta T into rho, okay, L cube. Okay. Now rho V square is basically known as inertia force. Rho V square is known as a inertia force, whereas G beta, this delta T L cube, this is basically into rho, this is basically known as buoyancy force, and rho into V, that is known as a viscous force according to Newton's law of viscosity. Understood? So the physical significance of Grashof number is basically the product of inertia force and buoyancy force divided by the square of viscous force. Understood? Yes?
Yes.
And physical significance of Nusselt number and physical significance of Prandtl number, that we already learned in the forced convection. So that's why I am not explaining the physical significance of Prandtl number and the Nusselt number. Yes, up till now any doubt?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No. Okay, fine. Now coming to the very important part that I explained, that is how to select the characteristics dimension, okay, in different situations. And I told that the natural convection governing equation, that is always written in terms of Nusselt number, GR number and Prandtl number. And this is one of the again the tricks while identifying the problems in the examination, whether the problem is based on the natural convection or the forced convection. If the correlation which is given in the numerical, if it is written in terms of NU, GR and PR, so it is the problem of natural convection. If it is written in terms of NU, RE and PR, then that is a problem of, yes,
Forced convection.
forced convection. Very good. Now, here different geometries, probable geometries that are used in industry as well as day-to-day life, that I have written here. First geometry, which is a vertical plate and vertical cylinder. If you have a vertical plate and the vertical cylinder, so the recommended correlation in terms of NU, GR, PR, it is written here. Okay. Now, who has obtained this value? 0.56 and 1 divided by 4. These values are basically, that is values of these constants are basically obtained by the different researchers. Okay. So in last 100 years or 150 years, there are several researchers in the worldwide, they are working on this natural convection and the forced convection in laminar region and the turbulent region. Okay. And they have basically developed the different correlation under the different situation. believe that for developing this one correlation, okay, you have to do the PhD work. For developing only one equation, okay, so you have to do the PhD research work, then you can develop this correlation. Okay. So first geometry we have considered vertical plates and the cylinder. Okay. Now recommended correlation I have mentioned here, but while while conducting the experiment by the different researcher as well as the scientist, okay, they are basically restricting that experimental conditions, okay, so for particular range. So whatever the correlation that I have written here that have a restriction where gr dot pr value that should be greater than 10 to the power 4, but it should be less than 10 to the power 8. Under this situation only you can use this correlation. Okay. Under this restriction, you can use this correlation. If this range is greater than 10 to the power 8, so that researcher has basically uh, developed the different correlation. So all the correlation that I have written here, that is in terms of NU, GR and PR, only thing is that depends on the physical situation, the values of constant, that is A, small a and E, that we have seen here. Capital A, small a and E, that values of constants are basically changing, but rest of the numbers that are written in terms of NU, GR and PR. Now if you have a vertical plate and vertical cylinder, so characteristics dimension we have to consider, that is vertical length. Length of that plate, that is the vertical length of that plate, that is basically the characteristics dimension that you have to select. Okay. Then if the cylinder is horizontal, now if cylinder is horizontal, there is a different correlation with the different range. Then in this situation you have to consider the diameter of the cylinder as a characteristics length. Okay. Now if you have a horizontal plate facing up, horizontal plate facing up, in this situation we have to use this correlation under this restriction with a characteristic dimension, that is L is equal to area divided by the weighted perimeter. It is a weighted perimeter. Okay. Similarly, there are different situations are there. For that we have to use the appropriate characteristics dimension. Okay. So in conclusion, what I am trying to say here, in natural convection while solving the numerical, okay, basically we have to obtain the value of Q, that is rate of heat transfer in natural convection processes. But for getting the value of Q, we should, according to Newton's law of cooling, we should know the H, A and delta T, because Q is equal to HA delta T. So for getting the value of H, we have to basically know, we should know these numbers, that is non-dimensional numbers, that is GR, PR and NU. So in the examination, the correlation will be given. In the examination, correlation while solving the numerical which is given. So using the at the mean temperature, basically we have to determine the thermophysical properties or get the thermophysical properties from the standard table of that fluid. And once you substitute the value of GR, PR and then you have to get the value of Nusselt number. Once you get the value of Nusselt number, then Nu is equal to HL by K. So using this equation, you have to obtain the value of H. Once you get the value of H, then rest of the thing is very, very simple, that you have to just substitute the value of H in the equation of Newton's law of cooling. Understood? So in this way, we are basically going to solve the few numericals on the natural convection in this session. In this session, if you have any difficulty, you can ask me. In this situation, if you have any difficulty, you can ask me. Otherwise, we will stop. And meanwhile, I am taking the attendance. Okay. Any difficulty you can ask me.